All right, let's talk about this guy. And I haven't talked about this case or this conspiracy or whatever the case may be. This person has just been arrested though, and he's getting charged with murder of a minor. And who I'm talking about is, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this guy's name right. David, I think D4vd is how he has his name spelled. He is officially arrested for murder. And he has pleaded not guilty to the murder of 14-year-old, yes, you're hearing this right, 14-year-old Celeste Rivas. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing her last name right. And other charges related to his recent arrest in a courtroom. His legal team also requested a preliminary hearing within the next 10 days, according to TMZ. Police arrested David last Thursday, over 7 months after discovering Rivas' remains in the trunk of his Tesla. Prosecutors announced the charges against him on Monday. He's accused of first-degree murder, continuous sexual abuse of a child under the age of 14, and unlawful mutilation of human remains. Yes, you heard that right. Celeste was just a child under 14 years old. So she was 13 at the time of her murder, when David Burke allegedly engaged in repeated lewd and lascivious sexual relations with her. But Burke's actions did not allegedly stop there. When she threatened to expose his criminal conduct and devastate his music career, Burke allegedly murdered her, cut up her body, and stuffed her body in 2 bags that were placed in the trunk of his car. The dismembered body sat for over 4 months decomposing until it was found at a tow yard on September 8, 2025. This horrific and gruesome murder committed by the charged sexual predator is shocking and appalling to Celeste's loved ones. We will get the justice you seek and deserve. Now, he faces the death penalty as well. And I'm going to talk about why I don't think he should get the death penalty. Because I've kind of, as the years have gone on, I've changed my stance on people getting the death penalty. And I'll talk about why a little bit later. But prosecutors reveal exactly how David allegedly killed Celeste. Due to special circumstances surrounding the case, David will be eligible for either the death penalty or a life sentence without parole. Those circumstances include the lying in wait nature of his alleged killing, that the killing was for financial gain, and that Rivas is considered a witness to a lewd acts charge. He ended up killing her basically because she was threatening to expose him as a predator, as a pedophile. Because let me see what this guy's age is, because I don't even know how old this motherfucker is. He is 21 years old. I think at the time of her murder, he was 20, maybe 19. So 19 dating a 14-year-old, or a 20-year-old dating or actually she was a 13-year-old. So 13-year-old dating a 19-year-old. You guys know how I feel about child predators and stuff. You guys know I've tweeted about this. I've talked about this. I support child predator groups that catch child predators. I watch True Blue, which is Chris Hansen's streaming network where he catches child predators. What else can I say? I hate these people. Like, these are individuals that don't deserve any type of sympathy at all. At all. There's no sympathy for these people. Because from what I know, from what I've seen, 98, 99, I'm pretty sure 100% commit the same thing once they get released. They do the exact same thing. Whether it's a day later, whether it's a week later, whether it's a month later, whether it's months later, whether it's years later, they end up trying to get with a minor again. Now, let's talk about what they found with David. They found he had child pornography on his phone. Let's go over this. So today, David appeared in court for a status hearing. At one point in the hearing, prosecutors alleged that they went through his phone and discovered a significant amount of child sexual abuse material, also known as child porn. For now, it's unclear whether or not any of it featured Rivas. That wasn't all that prosecutors revealed during the hearing, however. They confirmed that a wiretap was part of investigation. Further details of that were not public. They found literal terabytes of child porn in this guy's computer and phone. Terabytes. You know, there's megabytes, there's gigabytes, and then there's fucking terabytes. Let me see what the amount was, man. 40 terabytes. 40 terabytes. Right now, with everything that I got, I don't think I could fill up 40 terabytes right now with all my documentaries I've made. Basically, every file I've saved on my desktop and my laptop and my phone, I couldn't fit 40 terabytes. Yet this guy had 40 terabytes of just child sexual related stuff. 40 fucking terabytes. What is with these sickos and just having an insane amount of fucking files of this stuff? This guy, here's the thing. This is why I don't support the death penalty. One, I watched a lot of death penalty documentaries, and someone has to kill that person. Another human being has to play some type of role in killing that person. And unfortunately, like let's just say Celeste's father wanted to kill David, right? And let's just say David got sentenced with death penalty, and her father wanted to pull the trigger or inject him with poison to kill him, like whatever death, because they do death sentences and then they either kill you with like injecting you with some type of poison that, kills you, or other methods. They don't do the shooting method anymore. They don't do the electric chair. So it's mainly the poisoning. They inject the person in like 3 stages. The first one is like putting the person's like body to sleep. There's another one, and then there's another one where like the heart just completely stops. Now, the problem with that is there is a human being that has to go there and inject that person with the poison. And psychologically, that fucks with that human being. Because a lot of people that had to do that as a job, they quit. Because psychologically, they know like, hey, I'm the one that actually killed this person. Granted, legally it was the right thing that they did. But then sometimes even those people that get the death penalty, years later it comes out that they were innocent actually. So there's a lot of problems with the death penalty, right? There's a lot of issues with it. So that issue of like the person having to kill the actual person that's guilty, it can fuck with them psychologically. But they, if they allowed maybe the father or the parent or whoever of the victim to kill that person, maybe it's a little bit more justified. Maybe you can kind of bypass that, but they haven't allowed that in a long time. So that's the first issue with the death penalty. The second issue is it's a coward's way out for the person. Because they did a study of like psychologically, it actually came out recently. I just forget what the results were. Psychologically, having a human in a box for the rest of his life is way more tormenting than killing them off. And yeah, it might cost more money, tax dollars wise. But to have them locked in a box suffering every single day, especially a child predator where he's probably going to get beat up every 10 seconds, is way better. Like he should suffer for the rest of his life. He shouldn't have an easy way out of a death penalty. So that's the other thing. Another thing is, so you got the person being the victim, blah, 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 the what is it? The torment of actually life in prison. And I was going to say something else, man. It slipped my mind. But regardless, the death penalty, as time has gone on, I've kind of been like, nah, these people deserve the worst of the worst. And that was my other point. I already mentioned it already. Is like you accidentally can kill the wrong person. That's not actually guilty and you can't reverse that. So that was my third point. Sorry, I put them into the first one. But yeah, those are the reasons why like I've changed my mind from going from being for the death penalty to allowing people to rot in prison. Now, this guy, he deserves to be locked in a literal box. I'm talking the smallest box you can think of, just enough for him to turn around in circles. That's it. And he should be beat to a pulp every single day, tormented, and have him feel every bit of that. And only feed him enough to stay alive so he can keep getting beatings. For the rest of his life, it should be every single day like that. I would love for an AI bot. We could pay an AI bot, try to figure out an AI bot that can beat the living shit out of him every single day. And the AI can detect that, hey, this is a little too far, he might die, so let's back off until he heals a little bit. Let's keep beating him. That's what this piece of shit deserves. 40 terabytes of child pornography, murdering a 13-year-old, dismembering her body and putting it in a Tesla trunk. That's sad, man. That's very, very sad. This guy is an evil, evil person. And sadly, there are a lot of people like this walking around. If anything, Chris Hansen with his show has opened my eyes to anybody could be a child predator. It can be a big businessman. It could be the bum of the bums. It can be a regular Joe Schmo. Anybody. From a teacher to a humanitarian to a guy who works at McDonald's to fucking Fortune 500 CEO. Anybody could be a child predator. And I know that's like, oh, obviously it's not shock and quake. We're human beings, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter what we do. But you would think somebody of a higher status, higher position in life wouldn't do that. But nope. It's a disease. The only way you can get rid of this is by castrating every single one. How else would you stop child predators? Because I still have yet to see one that hasn't repeat offended. They do it. They get a measly sentence, maybe 3 months, maybe a year in prison. They get out, and within a matter of time, like clockwork, they do it again. If I was really, really getting mad, like I'm furious. But if I would take this guy and, my God, I would just torment him so badly. It would be the most pleasurable thing ever. Like, these people are disgusting. These people have a sickness in their brain, and they are worse than actual murderers. And I've always said this because a child predator spreads the disease, because a lot of child predators were molested themselves as kids. Now, you're probably going to think, oh, well, that's sad. That's why they're doing it. It's sad. They thought it was okay. No, because there are some child predators that did, not child predators, but there's some people that got molested as kids and never did it to other people because they know how bad it felt. But unfortunately, more of the percentage do it to others. So it's the disease that spreads versus like murdering somebody. It's done. The murder is there. It's finished. It stops at that moment, which is still sad and fucked up. I'm not like defending murdering somebody, but child predators spread because they do it to one person. That person gets tormented. That person has to live with that for the rest of their life. And then some of them end up doing it to somebody else. And sadly, in the land of America, and I think across the world, we don't treat child predators as bad as we should. So fuck this guy wholeheartedly. I hope every single night he gets raped by prisoners. He gets beaten. I hope he has nightmares every single second. And he never finds peace ever in his life. Because this person is disgusting. I can't even say human being. Because he's not human. This is not a human. This is a fucking demon, a devil. And who's that fucking guy? Russell Brand, too. He like openly admitted at 30 years old he slept with a 16-year-old. Like, fuck that guy, too. Fuck any of these people who make this seem like normal. Anyways, that's kind of my spiel on this. I will keep you guys updated. I hope he doesn't get the death penalty. I hope he gets life in prison without parole. And I hope he gets tormented every second of his living life that he has. If it was up to me, I would literally just find creative ways to torture this guy every single day. I would literally take a pay. I would stop doing this as a job just to go and torment that guy every day. And every child predator. Like, I would love to do that as a job. If I got paid, I don't even give a fuck, the most minimum wage ever, I would do that as a job. I would go and torment these child predators in prison. Like, that's, I've actually, you know what? I think this was years ago. I thought of doing child predator catching videos because I was like, I remember seeing CC Unit and all these other platforms that were catching predators before it became like a YouTube content thing. Like, people were doing it because they genuinely wanted to catch these guys. Now I feel like some of this stuff is like doing it for entertainment because you want to beat them up, which I'm all for. I have no issue with. But it seems like it's more of a show versus like actually catching these guys to me. But who am I to say? I'm glad it's just happening. Regardless of them getting caught and stuff, I'm happy. Regardless if you're just doing it for views, fuck it. Get your views, man. Because you're catching these people and exposing them and getting them off the streets for the most part. So I was actually thinking of doing that type of content, like getting out of, because I don't know, I felt like with the content that I'm doing, I wasn't really impacting the world the way I wanted to. And with catching child predators, you impact in a great way. You know, you're getting people off the street that are harming children. But yeah, man, I wish we lived in a world where these people got the most harshest punishment ever. These guys should get the worst punishment ever known to man. Whatever you can think of, the most horrible things should happen to these people. And they should get punished every single day. Not killed, because that's the coward's way out, but punished every single day. Anyways, that's my take. I'll keep you guys updated on this case and what happens, but fuck this guy. Rest in peace to Celeste.